In this video, we'll be finalizing a Pickem sheet. A Pickem sheet is a convenient way for players in your pool to submit their picks in person, through email, or text message. To get started, open Football Pickem Manager and click every Enable button if prompted at startup. So we want to click the Enable Editing button at the top. Next, you want to click the Enable button to enable macros. Otherwise, the workbook won't work as intended. So let's click this Enable Content button. Also, make sure you're on the admin sheet by clicking the Admin tab below. At the top of the sheet is the Pickem Sheet Configuration section. This is where you provide essential details and instructions about your Pickem sheet. First thing you want to do is give your Pickem sheet and pool a name. You can leave this blank, but I'll type in something random. So I'll type in my office. Either way, you'll get a preview of the sheet's name underneath if you leave it blank or type something in. Next, you want to enter how much it costs to play per Pickem sheet. We set ours at $10, so I'll enter 10 for example. Next up is the deadline section. The deadline is the last day players must submit their picks and money to be included in the current week's pool. You have drop-down boxes to set the deadline day, the deadline hour, the deadline minute, and the AM or PM deadline. We normally set ours at a Friday around 11 o'clock, so I'll just leave the drop-down settings right there. Next is the submission details section. First, you have the contact name. This is the person all players will submit their picks and money to. So you want to type his or her name here. And I'll type mine for example. Next is the contact person's location. This is the location where players can find the contact person. You want to be specific as possible here, so I'll give an example. Next is the optional alternative submission details section. Now, if you have players in your pool who can't submit their picks to you in person, you can enter an email address and or cell phone numbers here so players can submit their picks via email or text message. Also, if players can't submit their money to you in person, you can give them the option to send the money to you via one of the mobile apps listed in the drop-down box. Just select one of the payment apps you have and enter the details to receive the money. So for example, I'll select Cash App since I have a Cash App. And I could type in my cash tag here. But I'll just leave it disabled for this example. Now at this point, all of your essential Pickem sheet details are set. Quick tip, if you believe all of the settings in this section will be the same for most of the football season, you can hide the entire section or parts of it by selecting hide in the drop-down boxes on the side. This simply increases the screen real estate going into the Pickem schedule configuration section. Now the Pickem schedule configuration section is where the magic happens. This section gives you a variety of options to craft a Pickem week of games. The first option is the Pickem input mode where you can select between auto and manual input. I'm going to leave this at auto. Next is the Pickem game mode. You can choose between straight up, confidence, or point spread game modes. I'll leave this at straight up. Next is the NFL week number option, where you will select whatever week number the NFL is currently on. If you select auto as your Pickem input mode, you can choose between regular season week numbers 1 through 18. Now leave this at week 1. Now if your Pickem input mode is set to manual, you can choose between week 1 all the way up to the Super Bowl week. Next is the Thursday night football option, which appears if your Pickem input mode is set to auto. You can either include or exclude any Thursday night football games. Since our pool's Pickem sheet deadline normally falls on Friday, I'll set this option to no. And as you'll see, this Thursday night football game will disappear. And finally, we have the tiebreaker game option. You can either disable tiebreakers or choose one of the games listed as a tiebreaker game. We normally set our tiebreaker game to the Monday night game or the last game of the week, so I'll select that one. Now for more detailed information on any of these options, simply hover your mouse over the red triangles. Now that our essential details and Pickem schedule is set, it's time to finalize our Pickem sheet. Click the Finalize Pickem Sheet button below. A message box will appear telling you what's involved in the process. And it says this action will perform the following tasks. It'll create a Pickem sheet based on the current Pickem schedule config options. And it'll save a copy of the Pickem sheet to the Pickem Sheets blank folder. It'll give you an estimated time, which in this case is up to 30 seconds. And it asks you to continue. So I'll click yes. After you click yes, give the program time to do its thing. Okay, and another message box will pop up. And it reads, the process is complete. It says the Pickem Sheet tab is now viewable. And the Pickem Sheet is saved to the Pickem Sheets blank folder. Let's click OK. And the new Pickem Sheet tab appears at the bottom. So you want to click that to verify your newly created Pickem Sheet is successful. Now everything you entered here should all be there. You have your Pickem pool name, the game mode, the week number. You have your deadline details, the cost of play per sheet, the contact person's name, contact person's location, your email, text message, or mobile app payments if you enabled those, and a list of games and a tiebreaker game if you enabled that as well. Let's go back to admin. Don't forget, the program also mentioned it saved a copy of this Pickem sheet to the Pickem Sheets blank folder. So let's go there to verify. I'm gonna minimize program for a minute. Hit the directory, head to Pickem Sheets blank, and there it is. Let's open it up to verify. And there you have it, a copy of the Pickem sheet you created in the Pickem Sheets blank folder. This would be the Pickem sheet copy you would print out and email to all your participating players for them to fill out and return to you before the deadline. Let's close out of that. Okay, that wraps up the process of finalizing the Pickem sheet. Next, we'll go over entering everyone's submitted picks and finalizing a player pool. See you.